Drinking alcohol, smoking, and drug use are harmful to health.
In the heart of rural Pennsylvania lies Black Hollow, a forgotten town buried deep in the woods. With fewer than 300 residents, it was once a thriving mining settlement, until the mine collapsed in 1973, killing 37 workers. The tragedy left a permanent scar on the town. Rumors of hauntings, strange disappearances, and buried secrets turned Black Hollow into a ghost town in more ways than one. No one goes to Black Hollow after dark, at least not willingly. Detective Eli Moran hadn't set foot in Black Hollow in over 20 years, not since his younger sister Lena disappeared there without a trace. The case went cold and the town closed in on itself. Now, after the brutal murder of a local girl, her body mutilated and left in the same woods where Lena vanished, the FBI called Eli back. "This looks ritualistic," said Agent Cara Bell, motioning toward the body. The girl's eyes were removed, her mouth sewn shut with what looked like wire. Around her were symbols scrawled in what might have been blood. Eli looked around the forest. He knew this place. Every knot in the tree bark seemed to whisper her name. Lena Black Hollow was quiet, too quiet. The townsfolk were cold, reluctant to talk. The only place still buzzing was the Rust Lantern, the town's only bar. Old men drank silently. Women stared at their drinks. No one met his eyes. Until Mrs. Granger, the town's eccentric librarian, pulled Eli aside. "She's back, you know," she whispered, wild-eyed. "The blind witch." Eli froze. He remembered the stories. The old hag who lived near the mines, who stole children's eyes to see the future. Lena used to whisper about her before she vanished. "She comes when the earth bleeds," Mrs. Granger said, "and now the blood flows again." Eli and Cara explored the collapsed mine the next day. The entrance had been welded shut years ago, but the recent murder happened barely 100 yards from the old shaft. Strange markings lined the trees, symbols matching those found at the murder scene. Deep in the forest, they found a shack. Inside were candles, bones, old dolls with missing eyes. A shrine stood at the center, with Lena's photo placed at its heart. "How the hell?" Eli whispered. The floor creaked. A rustle in the trees. They weren't alone. A whisper behind them. "She sees you now." They turned, guns raised. Nothing. Just the sound of wind moaning through the trees, almost like a voice. Autopsy reports were strange. The girl's internal organs had been removed with surgical precision. Her vocal cords were missing. No signs of struggle, no fingerprints. But under her fingernails, black dust, coal dust, the mine. "I think someone's still using the tunnels," Cara said. Eli knew what he had to do. That night, they found the hidden entrance, beneath the old church, leading straight into the mine. Inside, they discovered a labyrinth of tunnels, some lit with faint candles. A stench of rot filled the air. And then they found them. 7 bodies, some decades old, all eyeless, all arranged in a spiral. In the center, Lena, still perfectly preserved. But she wasn't dead. She opened her mouth and whispered, "Don't look at her." They barely made it out of the mine alive. Something had followed them. A tall figure wrapped in tattered robes, her face hidden beneath a veil of chains. She didn't walk. She glided. Her fingers were long, black, sharp. They later learned from Granger that the blind witch was once a midwife who lived near the mine in the 1800s. After being accused of sacrificing children during a cholera outbreak, the townsfolk blinded and burned her alive. But her spirit survived, feeding off sorrow and fear. she took eyes to see again. Every 27 years, she returned for a new seer, a young woman whose sight she could possess. Eli realized Lena had been chosen, but something went wrong. She survived. Barely. It wasn't just a haunting, it was a cult. The Black Hollow Covenant, a secret group of townsfolk descended from the miners, had worshipped the blind witch in exchange for wealth, fertility, and protection from the mine's wrath. They had chosen girls over the decades. Lena had escaped the ritual, hidden by Mrs. Granger. But now, with the new girl dead, the cult sought a replacement, and they wanted Kara. Eli and Kara were ambushed in the woods, drugged and brought before the cult. The witch was summoned. The final ritual began, but Lena, half blind, half cursed, intervened. "Take me," she said, "but let them go." The mine collapsed again that night, sealing the witch and the cult forever. Only Eli, Kara, and Lena survived. Lena never spoke again. Her eyes were clouded, her mind broken, but she smiled sometimes, as if she saw things no one else could. Black Hollow was evacuated and declared unsafe. But sometimes, on quiet nights, hikers swear they hear whispers from the woods. Sometimes they find dolls with no eyes. Sometimes they see her, a woman in chains, waiting to be seen again. And every 27 years, the earth bleeds.